Hello, everyone. Welcome to the postseason interview with the coach of the Atlanta Braviary, Matty Ice of the Stone Family 64. First and foremost, obviously, the question on everyone's mind: how are you doing today, Matty? How's everything going for you, my dude?
I am mostly good. Just dealing with some computer issues as of late, as usual per the Stone Family. We always have computer issues, but besides that, we're good on our side. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good today. I haven't had much of a day today, but doing pretty good. Can't complain. All right, so let's get right into it. First question up. Just looking at the season as a whole, especially compared to season 1, what are your sort of general thoughts about this season, about season 2 of the Elite Battle League?
This season was interesting. It gave us a lot of, different ideas of what we're going to do with future stuff, because we had the stalling tactics this season that a lot of people implemented, including yourself. And it let us know that maybe that strategy wasn't something we wanted in the league, which it is going to be banned in the next season, so we did take all that into consideration. And it let us see that we might have the start of a dynasty going on with the Miami Dragon Knights, so that's interesting. Your typical dynasty is 3 out of 4, so he's just got to win one of the next 2 seasons, and he could be a dynasty for the Elite Battle League. We could have our first Elite Battle League dynasty already. So very cool season.
Yes, I agree. There was a lot of action going on. What about your season? Just sort of a general overlook of your season. What are some thoughts you had?
My season was basically the same as last season, honestly. Started off slow, picked it up, went into the playoffs with momentum. The only thing that changed was I let a Meowth scare me, which sounds stupid, but it is what it is. I didn't know the speed of Meowth versus the speed of Latios, and I saw the damage that it did with just Fake Out, and I was like, if it's got strength, if it's got bite, if it's got, something that's got more power than Fake Out, I could lose Latios here, and that just sent me on a downward spiral.
So you kind of said that your season was similar, so do you feel that you were able to improve from your performance last season?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I truly stayed on par. The one thing I got to do, I did it with the wife. I did it with Landon this season. Did it with Derek last season, and then with Boos last season as well. Which is funny because that's basically most of my losses. Is I went into the match overconfident, thinking, okay, I'm gonna win. I don't have to worry about them. Whatever I do, I'm gonna win, and then I lose. So that's one thing I got to work on, and I should have worked on it this season. That would have been an improvement. So that's going to be something I'm going to try to improve for next season is not sleeping on anyone. Everyone needs to be looked at as a threat.
Yeah, especially, this season, I don't blame you this season to a certain degree. Like, it was so unpredictable. Like, there's so much action, so many matchups that we couldn't have predicted. I beat Derek when he was undefeated, and Jack beat Guanaco when he was undefeated. So there's a lot of crazy results this season. So to a certain degree, I can see that approach possibly changing, because season 3 is probably going to be wild too, especially with all the new competitors. But that kind of leads into the next question. Would you have approached the season differently in any way? So you mentioned, obviously not underestimating your opponent. Other examples are maybe the way you drafted your Pokemon, or your general preparation for your matches.
I feel like I prep well for the matches, but then when I get into the match, my brain dies and I forget everything that I've practiced that week. So I need to focus on that. Maybe take some notes, keep them with me or something, because I'm not one to look stuff up in the middle of the match. I go with whatever I got. And as far as drafting, I got to stop taking Pokemon that I don't like. Conkeldurr worked out for me, but Absol did not. It kind of let me down.
Got destroyed.
so Absol did not grow on me at all the way Conkeldurr did. I don't think Conkeldurr is in my top 10 least favorite anymore, but Absol is definitely still up there. The only other thing I would change as far as my approach is, like I said, I consider everyone a threat. You know, I'm going to have to move on from that mindset of, okay, I made it to the championship the first season, so I'm one of the better battlers in the league, which everyone should feel that way. That's not me trying to be cocky. Even Max needs to be feeling that way at 1-4. Jack, if and when he ever returns, needs to come in thinking he's one of the best battlers in the league. I think all of us need to think that way. But you can think that way without thinking, okay, I'm just going to sweep my opponent either.
Yeah. And this season definitely showed everyone's strengths at certain points. You know, that's also what I appreciated. Like, no one had a completely bad season. At one point or another, you saw their strengths, which was really awesome to see. Yeah.
For example,
so again, looking back, go ahead.
For example, to add on to that, even the battle against Max, he did go 1-4, but my personal battle against him, he kept me on my toes, you know, the whole time. That was one of the better matches for me in the season, you know, because he kept me on my toes. That Blaziken speed boost into baton pass into the Lucario, which he freaking Dynamaxes. Come on, who was ready for that? Not me, I can guarantee you.
yeah, that was incredible as well. Yeah, his I didn't even think about speed boost baton pass. That was actually very smart from him. Yeah. I think there probably were a couple Pokemon maybe he drafts differently that changed his season, to be honest. He kind of got a little bit screwed having to pick Zygarde to a certain degree, you know. But then again, he still had the choice between all, you know, the rest of the legendaries. So, that was interesting for him. But were you more or less satisfied with how your season went? Like, were you more or less okay with, you know, with how it played out?
Yeah, I was actually happy with how the season went. I was able to I was able to get the first ever 6-0 sweep, which, you know, I couldn't win the first championship, didn't win it this year. I got an MVP, so expect to see Cortana on the logo for next season, made by yours truly, Lonely Hermit over there. Amazing art by his, or from him. So thank you for that. And so we got the MVP, we got the first ever 6-0 sweep, and if I was going to lose in the playoffs to anyone, what a better way to lose than to lose to my wife, who stepped into the season so we didn't have to try to find someone else. She took over a team that she wasn't expecting. Granted, I brought my backup team, again, sleeping on her, thinking she's never going to beat me no matter what I do. And she turns it around and beats me, which I think is an amazing story for her. You know, she loses all 3 matches, and then she turns around and she makes it to the semifinals. So you can't be upset about that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even her 3 losses were all impressive performances regardless. Like I said, she came in mid-season. Then I'm excited to see her interview as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, she 2 of her 3 losses also were only the opposing person only had 2 Pokemon left, so she did really well.
Definitely. And maybe a little more luck, and one of those losses is actually a win. So you know, it's crazy. So do you feel that you lived up to the goals that you set for yourself before the season kicked off?
Well, I can't remember exactly what we talked about in that preseason interview, but I believe I said I wanted an MVP, so we got that. So I was able to get the MVP that I wanted, and I said I wanted the championship. I was unable to get the championship, so we got one of the 2 goals that we wanted, and then, you know, to get the first back to the 6-0 sweep. I'm sorry, Wolf, but to be able to do that, that's a nice goal, you know, even if it's not something. I don't think anyone's going into a season going, I'm going to 6-0 somebody this season, you know, but to be able to do that, that's a nice goal and a feather in your cap to be able to say, I did that, you know, especially being the first. Yeah. Because eventually we're going to stop running out of first in the league, you know. We had the first timer battles, we had the first stall matches, we had the first match where, nobody died or something like that, right? Yeah. I think the only thing we're missing now is an undefeated team going into the playoffs, an undefeated team winning the championship, and then a winless team. So if I'm not mistaken, that's all we're missing. And then what other first can we really have except maybe a 3-time champion next season with Guneko?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we really have to start digging to try and find some firsts right there. So now focusing a little bit more on the team that you drafted, you kind of answered it. I'm guessing there's one Pokemon you'd probably answer this question for, but if you could have changed your team in any way, would you have?
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken Absol. I know last season it was Galarian Ponyta, so Absol this season, I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't need 4-legged creatures on my team. Maybe I need to stay away from those a little bit. I don't know. But I'm not sure what I'd put in Absol's place. You know, what could have really helped the team. Maybe something a little bit quicker. Because Absol kept getting outsped by everything. So definitely need some faster Pokemon for the Atlanta Breviary. But we'll see. We'll have to see how that goes next season. But I think that's the only change I would make. Everyone else was really good on my team, even when Azumarill was there, which it only got brought twice, but it put in work both times.
Yeah, I think Azumarill mostly was it just kind of ate a lot of hits.
Yeah, it was there for Bolt.
Yeah.
And then I tried I tried Scald or whatever and tried to get some burns off.
Yeah. So
it did what it needed to do. Absol. Yeah, he was absolutely ridiculous.
So, were you able to adjust to your team quickly, or did it take some time before you fully understood it?
As per seems to be my beautiful way of doing the EBL. It took me a little while to adjust to my team. Understanding Kartana really turned my season around. You know, figuring out
definitely
figuring out how to work Kartana into things. And like I said, had I brought Kartana against the wife, that would have been probably another win there. I'm not gonna say I would have won, you know, like I said, I'm gonna try to stop sleeping on people. But after that, you know, I feel like I had a good shot at beating Guneko because of the plan that I had in place for him, which was completely different from the first time we battled. So very interested to see if and when me and him get to battle again. But for the question, the only thing I had to understand was Kartana and understanding the sand more than I understood it going in, with Excadrill and Sandaconda playing off each other.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, Kartana was definitely a big turning point. Obviously, I mean, the majority of the kills it got leading into that season MVP were like in your last 2 matches. So, yeah, it was incredible.
It had one kill. Yeah, it had one kill before the last 2 matches, and it had, if I'm not mistaken, 1 death, and then it went on a tear.
Yeah. Was there any sort of challenges you struggled with throughout the season? And if so, were you able to sort them out?
No challenges for my team or anything like that. The challenge came in the replacement of Ace, Forsaken Ace. We had to replace him, week 3? So midway through the season, that was a challenge. My wife jumped straight up to bat. She was like, I will do it. I know it could take time for you to find somebody, but I'm right here. I'm already joining season 3 anyway, so it'll give me some time. So I love her to death for that. And I know some people could see that as a cop-out. There's 2 members of the Stone family playing in the EBL, but I guarantee y'all she won't let me have that trophy if she wins it. So very, very excited for her to get some experience, because she's already got ideas for what she wants to do next season, which I don't know that she would have had she not been able to do this. But that was a challenge in of how do I drop both videos on the channel? How do we set up time to record? How do we set up time to practice? Do I practice with her or let her practice with somebody else? Because if I'm training her, then when I battle her, is it make it unfair for her because I know her team so well? Stuff like that. So that was the biggest challenge for me, and I guess I was able to adjust it pretty quickly and fairly, I think.
No, I agree. I do wish we could have both of your guys' point of views. I know it's not as easy as that. But I did want to hear some commentary from both of you guys when you played each other back to back.
Yeah,
but I still love your commentary being right next to each other, though. How you guys would go back and forth because you're sitting right there.
Yeah, luckily, the first time she sat on the bed, so she wasn't really saying much. The second time she sat right beside me, and the mic was able to pick her up a little more clearly, so that was good. I think I'm going to have to let her know, even if she's in the chair next to me and she's off screen, sit right here and we can have a little bit of commentary. Either that, or I was considering, if we have to battle ever again, which, looking at the schedule for next season, she and I don't battle unless it's a playoff match. But what I might do is record it from my side from my phone, and do some post commentary maybe, and do her side from the actual Elgato. So still some stuff we're working through. We'll figure that part out.
Yep. Now, were there any issues that you expected to run into, but they were never really problems? So like maybe, I don't know, you were expecting a certain type to be really good against your team or anything like that, but it never really bothered you?
Water types. I was worried about water types because I was running a ground team, which is why I kind of got some ice Pokemon that had freeze dry, and I had fighting type moves on Absol and stuff like that. Or not fighting type. What am I trying to say? I had type coverage.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt on Nidoking. That's what I was thinking, and my mind went to Absol. I don't know why. Thunderbolt on Nidoking, stuff like that, ways to counter the water typing. And I never really ran into a problem from water types this season. So that was very shocking for me.
So you're heading into week 5. You face your wife for the first time this season. You take on the San Diego Sylveons, and you walk away with a win in that one. And obviously I believe you had already secured your place in the playoffs, but that just cemented it. So you're heading towards the playoffs for a rematch against the Sylveons, against your wife. What were your thoughts heading into that?
Looks like I'm playing Guanaco for the semifinals. That was my thoughts. No hate on Wolf or my beautiful, lovely wife, but I truly was like, okay, Guanaco's gonna handle his side. I'm gonna handle my side. So literally that whole week of preparation for her match was actually me studying Guanaco. And then I got to the match and I was like, oh, well, I haven't even thought about her team. What am I going to bring? And I was like, you know what? Let's have some fun with it. And I was like, let's bring the B team. Let's bring all the ice types instead of the ground types. And we'll throw Absol in there. Let's see what happens. And oh boy, I shouldn't have done that. I should have stuck with Kartana and my ground types. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And sure enough, I tried to fix something that wasn't broken. I broke it.
So I mean, you mentioned that you obviously couldn't scrape out the win in that one close, but towards the end there, it just got out of hand.
Yep.
So obviously you bow out first round of the playoffs. What were your immediate thoughts after that final match?
Never again. Never again. I created this league. And 2 seasons in, granted, it's only 2 seasons, but I felt like I had a good shot of winning this, considering I'm the one that made the rules, I'm the one that made the league. I knew everything prior to it, and I was like, alright, so these guys are used to using items. These guys aren't used to playing this way. So I've done this 5 times with my kids. I'm used to this. And sure enough, it hasn't paid off the way I thought it would. So I was really expecting, I wasn't expecting to lose this often, and then to not win one of the first 2 championships. It's been disappointing, but it's still, the EBL itself has been fun, but I'm not sleeping on anyone next season, but I'm coming in as hard and as fast as I can to take people out. I'm taking names, kicking butt, and I'm coming for the title next season.
Love it. Love that mentality. So what are some of your thoughts on? We kind of talked about it earlier, but what are some of your thoughts on season 2? Just based off like everyone's performance in the matches, just on the games themselves and the matches, what were some of your thoughts like watching them from a spectator's point of view?
See, that's the one thing I love about having gone to school for sports broadcasting is I can look at it, even as a Falcons fan, to bring it to real sports. I can watch the Falcons and be like, all right, they're my favorite team, but they suck. I can look at that and be real about it because I know from an analyst standpoint what's good and what's bad. They're still my favorite team, but they're still bad. Looking at everyone else's teams, I can look at everyone else's teams, including mine, and be like, okay, that's good, that's not good. So to watch everyone play, there were some coaches that seemed worried about making moves, which interested me in a sense that just make moves, just see what happens. And then there were some coaches, myself included, who dive straight into it and they're like, I'm clicking this no matter what. And then it backfires. So there's got to be a medium ground, which I think Guanaco and Derek have found that medium ground very well. And if you see where that put them this season, that's a really good place to be. So that's kind of my thought on everyone this season is let's all try to find that medium ground. And dude, if everyone can find that, it's gonna make for such a good league. However, I don't think there's anything wrong with having that guy, me, who's gonna rush into a battle and be like, I'm doing it this way. If it doesn't work, oh well. Attack. And then there's nothing wrong with guys like Jack, who's like defense.
Yeah.
Where Derek and Guanaco are in the middle, So I think it's good to have all three ends of the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. It's just it makes for a more interesting league because if everyone's kind of on that medium ground, you'll get a lot of strategic matches, but sometimes they might not pan out, in the most entertaining way.
Yeah.
Or one team will just crumble quickly. So yeah, I agree. There needs to be different parts of that. Obviously, you're returning next season. That's a no-brainer. Are you, having watched this season, having gone through this season, having been a part and spectating and all that good stuff, are you excited about season 3?
I'm super excited, especially considering we're finally to the point that when I started this whole thing, we wanted to be 12 teams, 2 divisions, 6 on each side. 4 teams don't make the playoffs immediately. And we are switching up a little bit. Kill-death ratio is going to be more important. And obviously this will be talked about more in the future, but I just want to go ahead and say it now. You're only playing 3 teams in your division, and then you're playing 2 teams on the opposite division. So there might be a team that you're literally tied with. You're 3-2, they're 3-2. You never played, so there's no head-to-head. So kill-death ratio determines if you make the playoffs or not. So kill-death ratio is going to be way more important than it's ever been. Also, the fact that once we reach the playoffs, we're getting rid of divisions. The best team will play the worst team of the teams that made the playoffs. So it could come down to anything at that point, So very excited for next season. We're trying different methods, different stuff like that to see what pans out the best. And like I said, we're at the 12-team mark, which is kind of where we wanted to be. We've had 17 teams total in the league when season 3 starts. So I don't know what we're going to do if guys decide they want to come back or anything like that. But the 12-team mark is something that's a hard, solid area we want to stay at. So don't expect more than 12. Less than 12 is obvious. Allowed if guys want to drop out, do their own thing and everything. But the 12 teams excite me a lot because it's going to be a lot of battles and a lot of fun entertainment to be able to go through.
Yeah, there's finally reaching that max, and I mean it's not impossible with 16 teams. For anyone who might be wondering, it's not impossible. It's just less complicated. It keeps it simple. That's really it, especially with scheduling and stuff like that. So yeah, I think 12 is a nice medium there. And yeah, next season's going to be exciting to watch, especially from a complete spectator point of view. Yeah. So final question for your team here. If you could rate your season out of 10, what would you give yourself?
I'd say we were 7 out of 10. You know, 3-2, same as the first season. We had the MVP for the regular season. Go Cortana. Hopefully I can. I'm gonna throw it out here. Hopefully I can get Cortana back next season because I enjoyed using it. We'll have to see how the draft goes for season 3. Losing the first round of the playoffs hurt, but like I said earlier, if I was gonna lose to anyone, what better way to lose than to my wife? You know that. I can't be mad about that. You know, if I lose to Gwinnecco again, you know, then I'm starting to get upset. You know, but losing to my wife, I was happy to see her excited because she may not have shown it on screen as much as she could have, but dude, I heard it for a week. I beat you. I get it. Calm down. So that was exciting. So 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. That's solid. And I agree. I think if you make the playoffs, it should be at least an automatic like 6.
Yeah.
At least. But definitely you showed different signs this season. Definitely of improvement. But I guess I didn't really notice whether you underestimated or not. I don't think we really can see that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really see that as a spectator, unless they explicitly say like, "Oh, I underestimated this person."
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, that's kind of for everyone in the league though. Some things to work on, but definitely signs of improvement. You may not have gone as far this season, but regardless, you definitely showed a lot of understanding of the team and an explosive team at that. So that's amazing, and that team very much suited you, by the way. I think it did very much suit you. And you're right, probably picking up someone instead of Absol faster would have, man, that would have been insane. But yeah, that's everything. With all of that out the way, I'm gonna throw it over to you to go ahead and, you know, get all those plugs in, those plugs to your channels and all the socials and everything. So I'm gonna toss it over to you.
Alright, first thing I would like to plug, and this isn't even on my channel, guys, go check out Lonely Hermit. He is stepping away from the EBL completely next season, except for the logo. He's going to make the logo for us. But beyond that, he's stepping away from the weekly roundups. He's stepping away from battles for at least one season. So go show him some love. He is still considered a member of the Elite Battle League. Not only that, if you're on my channel at all the Elite Battle League members that have been in the league and are in the league are at the top of my channel. Click every one of them, hit the sub button, show all those guys some love. They deserve it. And for our channel right now, we have Shining Pearl family playthrough that we're doing with the kids. Triple Threat Lock Brilliant Diamond that we're doing ourselves solo. The Soul Link is still going on with Gwinnecco, and I don't know when this is going up, probably Saturday. So we got a new series starting soon with another friend that we have worked with before. I'm not going to spoil anything, because if I say his name, it'll spoil it for people that know. And beyond that, EBL Season 3, February 5th will be the start for that one, so look forward to it. Your Atlanta Breviary aren't going anywhere. We are going to try our best to dominate next season.
Yep. And we look forward to your performance. Obviously, the Atlanta Breviary always show up. So, yeah. You guys... Go ahead.
Can I say the thing I thought was really funny is you and I both started 0-2, and we both finished 3-2, which I thought was completely funny because at the beginning of the season you're like, the Atlanta Breviary are doing the same thing they did last season, and I'm looking back on it going, you're doing what I did.
If only I made the final, then I really would have copied you from last season.
That would have been great.
But yeah, that is that for the Atlanta Breviary's post-season interview. Of course, best of luck to you, Maddie, in season 3. I have season 2 written in my questions. Cool. Do you have any final words for the fans out there before we get out of here?
Just we love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. And like I said, February 5th, start of Season 3 of the Elite Battle League. Look forward to it. Hopefully the Atlanta Breviary can start off stronger than usual instead of our typical 0-2, 1-2 records.
Yeah. And there you have it. Hope you have a fantastic day. And like he said, we'll see you guys on February 5th for the start of Season 3 of the Elite Battle League. Take care, everyone. Bye.